Hello, darklings, lightlings, hybrids, and everybody else. How are you today? I hope you are well. I hope you're having a great morning. Mine was a little strange, man. Thor thought, I'm gonna have fun with her today or something. I woke up to a damn tornado alert, three of them actually, and one landed like literally right on the highway next to us. And then our power went out, but it's back on. Everything's good. We're all good. So, yeah, I'm grateful. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about something interesting, a little different. Um, and don't judge me. I won't care anyway if you do. But we're going to talk about my experience when I had tried acid and how I believe that kind of ties into this draconic path. And then toward the end of the video, make sure you stay because I had this wonderful astral experience, probably going on a week ago now, but my dragon took me to the underworld and I had spoke with Lilith and she had told me some really interesting things that I'd like to share with you. Whether you believe my experiences or not, that's okay. But I think this message is inspiring and important, and hey, I leave you to form your own opinions too. If it means nothing to you, great. It's not your path, great. But if it resonates and you're like, wow, that's really cool, hey, great too. So I love you guys, and let's get into this. Okay, reading from my grimoire. Lately, with my dragon path working, I've had much awakening and enlightening personal experiences, which has led me to share my experience of the time I did acid for spiritual and mind-altering intentions. It is known that taking psychoactive substances is called riding the dragon. A similar name to the ritual with the same name, it led me to experience a lot, and the experience wasn't as deeply understood until now. Because even then, my dragon guides were with me. Of course, I didn't know this then. It was August of 2018, and I wanted to experience what LSD was like. Hearing stories of how other people who tried it had consciousness expansion, ego death, and other spiritual revelations. This made me curious of what it could show me or offer me as far as spirituality goes. There are theories that these substances show you the truer reality, and it isn't just hallucinations that you see while under the influence of these, but what you are seeing truly exists around us. And after my experience, I believe it, and I'll tell you why when we get to it. I had a friend who was very hippie, he was really awesome. And he was a very free-spirited person who I trusted, and he explained to me, being an avid user of psychoactive substances, that what I needed to do to be safe while using this for my first time. Also, my twin flame was with me. I felt pretty confident having, my partner with me who was experienced and my friend who I trusted explain it. We dropped our first dose when we got to my room at my home. For context, I had many tapestries on the wall, and these are the ones I'm going to put on the screen for you here so you kind of know what I'm talking about during my experience. I also had black lights all over my walls and a huge mirror, and then my altar, which was underneath my tapestry. And in a lot of my older videos, like when I just started out, you can see these tapestries in that altar. So we lay on the bed with music playing and talking. About 45-ish minutes later, my mood lifted extremely high and I felt very euphoric. As if life was everywhere and in everything, yet outside life slipped away with the concept of time. The music seemed to merge through us and our bodies, as if we became one with the beats of the frequency. The music also seemed to merge with the colors around the room, which became extremely vivid. The black light seemed vibrant and radiant, and the images on the tapestries became 3D, swirling and moving as the lines on the walls also flowed back and forth. Tranquil water is what it reminded me of in that moment. It felt like my partner and I had become one entity and with a shared experience. So, whatever I was feeling and like experiencing, he was too. And this kind of blew my mind a little bit. Like, how could we suddenly just be like one, like experiencing one of everything going on around us? Everything for a while, like rubbing our hands together and laying into each other in a large state of love like we've never felt before. I remember getting lost in bliss in that moment. I could hear him speak, but his mouth wasn't moving. I do wonder if it's possible to have like telepathic experiences while on like LSD or ayahuasca or mushrooms or what have you. I personally believe that it was real. Good and connected. When we came back from this trance, we thought we had physically made love. We were convinced we did. No clothes had been removed. We had no visible evidence of this, and you know when you know. And we didn't, and that was kind of like, whoa. It was our souls that made love. It was as if our bodies laid there while we were in trance, but our astral bodies, or like our literal souls, had done this. And we felt every moment like a timeless oblivion of ecstasy. The trip accelerated to us laughing and laughing. Even when our mouths weren't moving, I could hear him laughing, see him laughing. And I mean, the next day too, our ribs hurt so bad because like we laughed so much. The tapestries and the statues on my altar began to talk to us and laughed with us. And when we moved, we trailed. This seemed to go on forever. We became entranced at one tapestry, the sun and moon, and it morphed out towards us and told us that she was the goddess. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, the goddess, she's here with me. Like, I was just like so in awe over this. Like, wow. So this is where I'm convinced that what we were seeing wasn't a hallucination, because we were seeing the same thing, hearing the same thing. And you can't share hallucinations. Usually if you're hallucinating, you're seeing two separate things. Yes. And I do believe it may have something to do with our state of minds while going into this. I feel like the frequency or vibrations that we're on while we drop acid or these substances for spiritual purposes, I feel like our vibration definitely plays a role in that. If you're in a lower vibration, it's probably not going to be the best experience. We laid on the bed together laughing as stars on my other tapestry began to flow out of the image, and the goddess seemed to dance around the room as if she was celebrating with us. It was an energy of pure joy, pure oneness with everything in the world, and there was no concept of time at all. A void of nirvana with the goddess energy. The experience was great, and the next day after some sleep, we walked around Rome and I felt normal. The visuals were gone, and I was no longer under the influence. However, like the trees seemed more alive. More vibrant. The sky was bluer than normal. Everything around me just felt so alive, and I felt so very connected to all, even the blades of grass around us. Like, I was still in a state of like joy, like, oh my gosh, everything's alive. And it's like, you know this, but when you feel it with every fiber of your being, it's just such a special feeling. Also, my depression that I always battled seemed to be no issue for a while after using this. Now, I'm not saying to self-medicate using substances for depression. However, what I am saying is that there might be something to this new and rising or upcoming microdosing thing. So there's that. So how does this relate to the dragon stuff and the draconic path working that I'm doing? And what was that astral experience I had? I feel like the red goddess, I call her the red goddess because I feel like she's many faces in one. So this would be like Ishtar in an Aphrodite, Freya, Astarte, Astaroth. Kind of the same, you know. I call her the red goddess. So when I say red goddess, that's what I mean. Or even Lilith, you know, would be one of that. I feel like the goddess is connected to the dragons and that they were there that night, showing me that there is more to this reality. And I couldn't really comprehend it then because I wasn't on the path till now, but now it's kind of falling in line, making sense, which happens a lot on my spiritual path and journey. Sometimes I don't understand things until much later and I go, oh. So the other night I astraled with Segavax, my dragon, and we went to the underworld, or he took me to the underworld. And I spoke with who I perceived as Lucifer and Lilith. And my dragon had merged in with them, almost like he was a part of them or something. They seemed to be in a harmonized union, like that night of my trip was only a small single fraction of what true harmonized union would be. I had envied them for it. And Lilith told me that everything material is her or the goddess. The universe, the dimensions, the all and the no thing is the womb of the all mother. And what I believe she means by the no thing, none of this truly exists here. None of it. Our minds, us, we created all of these things. The other beings, they created those, you know, places. We are creators. When we fell from source, or what is truly God and all, she, the nurturing side of God, came with us so she could provide us with healing and everything we need to ascend, even if it is fully up to us. That every goddess we perceive is her, that she comes to each of us in ways that we will personally accept. Which is why there are so many faces of her and God, or the male side of her. Because really, God is everything, male, female, light, dark. Source just is. The I am is us, because when we came from source, or when we were with source, all one, you know, like collective consciousness, we're the ones that said, oh, I am, and we became. She comes to everybody differently, but no one is without the goddess's love or touch or guidance. Mary, the Holy Spirit, whatever goddess and whatever pantheon you perceive. Also in many other forms, because everything here is her, she explains. It may be a song she comes to you with. It could be a synchronicity. It could be a tower moment in your life because you had asked for change. So the nurturing mother says, well, okay, let it be so. This is the way we got to do it. So she is the universe, and the laws of the universe is her way of nurture. So if we wake up and say it's going to be a bad day, she says, okay, if that's what you want, sweetie, but you know, I'm here to help you change that when you get it together and realize who and what you are, you know. She also told me the Trinity, source, her, and us, is really what it means, that we are all Jesus, and he is a symbol of us and our ascension, a symbol of our suffering, of the cruelty of this world, and what we put ourselves through. Yet, we will, like him, ascend, and like him, we will never truly die. The return of Jesus is us ascending, realizing that we are a collective, and pushing our own ascension, which is exciting. No one in this realm will get out of this ascension. After being told this, I was to follow Hecate and her torch through the underworld. My dragon emerged back from Lilith to follow. Imagine my surprise with this revelation. It taught me to never judge a path or another person again, because she told me, that it's no different. Her hand is in all of it. So there is no us or them. That's an illusion of this world. Let people be ignorant of it. They will eventually see for themselves. And we don't have to force or push it or be like, I have this great, message for all and we all got to follow this. That isn't what this is. This is just me. Like, my channel is a diary of my path and what I do and what is huge to me. So I just want to share that with people. However, the rest of it and what you believe is up to you. Well, I love you guys and I hope you enjoyed this.